I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot. I'll be back.
I don't believe it. If you were to tell me that a remake of Silent Hill 2 done by Bloober Team of all people would end up actually being good, I wouldn't have believed you. Bloober Team doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to their games, with the glorified Haunted House of the Layers of Fear franchise and their boring Silent Hill inspired game, The Median. Pretty much everyone was skeptical about the team taking on such a big task, but luckily, the result isn't all that bad. I mean, it could have been better, but considering Bloober Team's history, this is actually fairly impressive. I think it should be said that before we get into the review, I have actually never played the original Silent Hill 2. I've been meaning to play it for a while now, but I just never have gotten around to it. But I am aware of the legacy of the original game and how much pressure must have been put on Bloober Team when remaking it. So, let's get into the surprisingly good Silent Hill 2 remake. The story follows James Sunderland, who receives a message from his dead wife calling him back to the town of Silent Hill. James soon realizes that the town is infested with monsters and now has to figure out what's really going on. The gameplay is probably the most controversial aspect about the remake, because similarly to the Resident Evil remakes, this game ditches the fixed cameras of the original in favor of a typical third-person camera angle. I said before in my Resident Evil video that I don't personally have an issue with switching to third person for these types of remakes, but I know it might be a turnoff for some. Speaking of Resident Evil, this game seems to heavily take inspiration from the Resident Evil 2 remake in particular, which seems to have worked out for the best. From what I know, this game seems to have a greater emphasis on combat than the original, which is probably due to the third-person camera offering more flexibility in terms of movement, allowing for James to dodge and weave through enemies. I was wondering what was different about the story of this game compared to the original, and after doing some research, it seems that Bloober Team stayed fairly close to the framework of the PS2 game. There are some minor differences, but overall the story remains closely the same, while adding a little extra here and there, which explains why this game is twice the length. That extra content added to the game does, however, lead to certain sections of it dragging, and overall I'm not really a fan of 20+ hour games. Personally, for a single player game, the sweet spot is usually 6 to 12 hours, but I know it'll be different for others. The music is also virtually unchanged, which is probably for the best, considering I've seen how remakes can mess up a game's soundtrack. In summary, Silent Hill 2 isn't a necessary remake. I honestly would have just preferred a proper re-release of the original, but for what it is, I feel that Bloober Team did the best they could, and the result is a game that's pretty good. I know a lot of people now want to see them remake Silent Hill 1, and honestly, that game could probably benefit a lot more from a remake, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what's next for Bloober Team and the Silent Hill franchise. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next review should be Smile 2, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn on notifications and check out my other videos. Okay, that's it. Bye.